Whenever I tell people that I either ride racehorses or draw animations, they're all like, they're the most strangest two hobbies that you can put together. I'm like, yeah.
Hello people, welcome to the Proper Talk Show. Today we're interviewing an up-and-coming TikTok animator / StoryTime Animator / horse enjoyer, Rufax.
Hello.
You know what, I wanted to do some small talk, but I'm not really good at that. Are you?
No, I'm terrible at it.
What would you say is the best country for a horse to live in?
Probably Ireland. I'd have to say Ireland. For starters, it's very green, so there's a lot of grass. Just the horse care over here is very, very good.
I would say honestly that's Switzerland. I don't know why Switzerland, but it seems like a really cool country to just be a horse in, you know?
Depends on the type of horse as well.
What made you dabble in the storytime side of animation?
My biggest inspiration was probably Jaden Animation's Ice Cream Sandwich. They just got to tell their stories, and that was something I wanted to do.
So it was just different YouTubers that inspired you to start making content in that way?
Yeah, it's all well and good drawing for fandoms and stuff, but creating your own original content as well, that's something that everyone wants to do.
Yeah, absolutely. That is an amazing answer, mate. What would you say is the biggest difficulty that new animators are facing on social media, like TikTok or YouTube?
Probably the backlash that they're getting from all like experienced artists and just people in general, like not realizing there's a process to becoming good.
Totally. I mean, people who haven't even drawn a thing comment stuff that they really shouldn't.
And these days, like with AI going around the place, it's hard to kind of understand that there is a process to be going good.
Now, what would you say was your favorite and also least favorite part of making a storytime animation?
My favorite part was definitely finishing it. It's very tough working on a project that's long, and especially by yourself mentally, it'll definitely drain you, and you'd just be thinking, oh, I just can't wait for this to be over. But least favorite part is starting, because it's always the hardest part. Just where to begin, what to do, and you're also thinking about everyone else, like what are these people going to think, and can I put that in a video, and this, that, and the other.
Oh yeah, I see where you're coming from. I don't think many people watching this video have actually started, a YouTube channel, so I think that's pretty inspiring, How much time do you usually spend on making an animated like TikTok or YouTube short?
For an animated TikTok or YouTube short, usually they'd be frame rate, like you'd be going 12 frames per second, and you'd be spending, it would be like 90 to 120 frames. So you'd get that done in a day, depending on how much animation you're adding into it, or if it's a quick skit, if you're reusing frames. It all depends on what it is you're doing.
An entire day of just working on an animated skit, it still sounds like a long time.
Yeah, 100%.
Huge respect to all the artists just working their heads off doing this stuff. So, you went to a college specifically for horse jockeys, is that right?
Yes.
Do you think there are any similarities with being a jockey and a YouTube animator?
Absolutely not. It is the bizarrest thing ever. Whenever I tell people that I either ride racehorses or draw animations, they're all like, they're the most strangest two hobbies that you can put together. I'm like, yeah, definitely.
Taking care of horses and being a horse jockey is a very extroverted job, while being a YouTube animator, not so quite.
There's definitely two different personalities that you have to put on. It's like in the racing world, it's very, very serious, and things need to be done quickly because there could be injuries, or someone like a horse could get hurt, a human could get hurt. Like, you have to be quick on your toes. While in the art world, you can do whatever you want.
What made you decide, because I have honestly no idea, on Rufax as your channel name?
Rufax. To be quite honest, I just got two random words and I stuck them together. Genuinely, it was like the first two words that came to my head and I'd stick them together.
You've had quite a number of TikTok channels.
Yes.
Would you say that you've learned anything from them?
What I've learned for myself anyway is just to do it for yourself and not for anyone else. My past channels, I was so much of a people pleaser. I was doing what everyone else wanted me to draw, and they kind of get stuck in the one fandom, and then when that fandom dies out, you're left with nothing because everyone only followed you for a certain thing. And what do you do then? You just have to restart. That's why I've had so many different accounts.
I have one last question, alright, mate?
Okay, shoot.
What would you say is the coolest name for a horse?
Well, if I was to have named a thoroughbred myself, I would have called it After Hours. So there's a pub owner down the road from where I live, and he had bought a thoroughbred racehorse and he didn't know what to call it. So I suggested calling it After Hours because you go to the pub after hours.
Wow, that is actually a very cool name with an actual backstory. That is very cool, I have to say. Well, you know what, mate? I think this rounds up the interview, actually.
Oh, perfect.
It was great having you as my first guest.
No problem at all. It was nice for you to have me.
And to the viewers, remember to check out Rufax's channel in the description. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.